Charlotte, and welcome to my podcast, Influence, Inspire, Impact. Hey everyone, I'm Charlotte, and welcome to episode 1 of Influence, Inspire, Impact. To kick off our podcast today, I'm joined by my mom, who was kind enough to do an interview with me. Mom, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Lida, Charlotte's mom. I'm the guinea pig.
She is. We're just gonna do this sort of as like a little test run to just make sure all the tech works and everything.
And is it okay? I know I'm old, but is it okay that I brought my tea to the session?
No, it's fine, Mom. But we're just gonna make sure that all the tech work and just give you guys sort of a little taste of what's to come. And I figured I'd start with the person who birthed me. So, you ready for your questions? Because I have a couple for you.
Boy, we just jump right into the questions.
Well, I don't know. Are you ready for your questions, or is there anything else you want to say?
Sure. Yeah, I'm ready. There's like a random. I don't like that the playroom though is messy. There's like a random chair back there in the.
Don't ask me. Ask the people who are supposed to clean this place up.
Caroline should clean that up.
You're like bashing Caroline on the podcast now. Okay, Caroline, you should clean that up. All right, are you ready for your questions? Because I have 5 questions for you.
Okay,
so,
sure.
As you saw by the title of this episode is called A Mother of 3, Start Today with a Grateful Heart. So that is something that you will find out later in the episode is pretty important to my mom. So, ready for question 1? I'm
ready.
Okay, question 1. What are some skills raising 3 kids has taught you?
Skills that raising 3 kids has taught me. Patience. Right?
Especially with me.
That's probably one big one is patience. Not especially you,
yes,
but just in general.
You're more patient than Dad.
Well, it's just a different kind of patience. Dad has a lot of patience for things like helping Caroline with her crafts and doing those projects and technology with you guys, whereas I have no patience for that kind of stuff.
No, but it's just because you don't know how to do it. So, like, if you knew how to do the technology stuff, then maybe you'd have more patience for that.
I know, but because I'm old and outdated.
No, but, like, Dad's not outdated, and he's, like, close to your age. And
yeah, but he's, like, he's hipper. We know that. He's hipper when it comes to technology.
No, yeah. But I mean, when I we try to do technology stuff, like I try to help you and stuff.
I know.
We, like Caroline today, like we lose our cool with you just because you're like sporadic with all the technology stuff.
I know, and I do everything like the longest possible way. I know that about myself, but
you do.
It is what it is.
No, but like sometimes
someday when you all are raised and grown and out of the house, I'll sign myself up for a bunch of classes to become like ultra hip, and then I'll get myself a cool gaming headset like you have so that I can see you on the computer. Yeah, so that we got to get
even that didn't make sense. Like so what you just said, but
it didn't. Okay,
I can see you on the computer. Like you already can.
Isn't it funny that we're talking to each other on the computer and we're in the same house?
Yeah. Yes. But it looks more professional this way.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but yeah, I need to get back to the question, which was the lessons that raising 3 kids
skills. Yeah.
And I talked about patience because I think that's a huge one, especially when you're a mom. And I try to be that patient presence in your lives because I think that's important. So much of the world today is impatient, right? Everybody wants everything quick and they want answers now and they get all worked up and frantic. And so I think as a mom, I've tried to be a patient presence and model that for you guys.
Yeah, I'm just like, it's not on you, but I'm just naturally like a pretty impatient person.
Okay, well, we'll keep working on that.
I mean, you saw that, like, with everything I did preparing for this, and, like, when I want to do something, I get so set in it that I have to do it. Like, it has to, because then I don't know, it just causes me to, like, spiral out of control. Like, if I need to do something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's a good example, but, like, when I was... like when the sewing machine was on the table back there and I was like, you need to move that now. And here we are an hour after doing this now, but I don't know. It's not on you.
And what did I say? Talk to Caroline and explain. And instead of getting all worked up and frustrated with her, if you asked her kindly, I think
it's just a lot of things like make me anxious, especially these days. Like there was a lot going on in the kitchen earlier with like the computer and the calendar stuff, and I was like, oh, this is like overwhelming me. But anyway,
I think that's also true not just in our house, that's in the outside world, right? Things move so fast these days. And even I look at you kids, how fast your youth moves versus when I was your age. And
but you guys had like nothing to do. You guys went like ice skating.
No, like I would come home from school and jump on my big wheel and ride out in the neighborhood and knock on friends' doors and say, do you want to come out and play? And there was much less structure and organization to our lives. And so I think part of, for your generation, the challenge is you guys are so busy and the expectations are so high with everything you do that, so I felt the need as your mom to kind of try to be an opposite influence so that you can feel at home that we aren't on that hamster wheel, right?
Yeah, I mean we're not. It's mostly just like my personal hamster wheel.
Yeah, well, I don't
make sense. Like a lot of things make me anxious and like worked up. Like a lot of small things really set me off.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just when it's something as small as like a messy backdrop for this interview, but that's like something that bothers me. Like there's just small things, and most people are like, "Oh, that wouldn't really bother me that much."
I'm dying because you're gonna hate the fact that chair is sitting out in the middle of the room.
It doesn't really matter. Focus on me, people. Don't ignore the chair.
But I feel like we're digressing and we're getting away from this. I still haven't answered. So patience, I said. The other thing I think being a parent has taught me is organization. I've always been a pretty organized person, but I feel like because I'm planning and taking care of a whole family, we don't tend to like be really super disorganized here, right? Because I like you guys to be able to have things that you can count on, right? That you can count on, like I'm home when you get home from school to talk to you about your day, or when you need help doing something, I'm not out scrambling doing something else. So like I definitely try to like button things up when you're not here. Like a lot of times I'll make dinner early in the day. Like
I know.
Not unheard of at 9 a.m.
You start at like 10 a.m. making dinner.
But then I love it because in the afternoon it might be 5 o'clock and somebody wants to talk to me about their science test. I can do that because I'm not like scrambling to do.
Yeah.
So I found that's helpful as a mom. I think being accepting is another important lesson of motherhood, is accepting your kids for who they are and not wanting them to be either what you are or what you aren't. I think that's a common pitfall for parents sometimes, is like, the football star wants his son to be a football star.
We don't have any sons, so
we don't have any sons,
but no football stars.
But like, I gave up the piano when I was, a teenager, and I wish I had still played, but then like putting that on you guys.
No, but look at Caroline, who did it naturally.
Yes,
like exactly. That's a perfect example. Like she sits over there and like plays the piano, doesn't like she just picked that up naturally at Anna and Vic's.
Yes, and taught herself, right?
I think that's almost better than if you'd pushed her to do that, or if you pushed, or I don't know, what are other, like, let's just say you were a swimmer, and if you pushed all of us to be, you weren't obviously, but if you like just pushed us and we're like, you need to, because there are some people who are like, the athletes especially, like, you need to do this, you need to be as good or better than me, like, I don't know, it's just, I think
you want to be accepting, and it's interesting, as a mom of 3, I've seen how the same 2 parents in the same household has, created 3 very unique human beings, because you guys have all kind of evolved naturally. Yeah. And, certainly we have expectations of how you conduct yourself and trying to set some boundaries as far as helping shape your moral compass and stuff like that. But I think just being accepting of, and realizing that you can't control things. I think today's parents seem to want to control everything for their kid, whether it's their social life or the activities they're in, their academics, and I'm not sure why we've gotten to a place like this. It wasn't like that when I was young, and I feel like my peers are much more hyper involved in their kids' lives, and I think it's to the detriment of today's youth. That you guys don't. You're incredible people and unfold in the way you're meant to, and we need to just try to stay out of your way, right?
Yeah. I know we were talking about this the other day. Like, one of the big things is throwing money at problems.
Yes.
Like, I know we were talking about that, but, like, that's not how I was raised. Is like,
and it's not how I was raised either.
Because here's the thing is, like, money, I guess I was thinking about this when we were talking about it. Money won't fix my CF. Money can't fix everything. Like, it may be a temporary solution, but eventually, like, people are gonna rely, like, if you raise me as somebody like, oh, let's just buy this to make you happier. Like, that's just because then it's very much like, if money is where you find happiness, you'll always be poor, in the words of NF. And so
did he say that?
Yep.
Oh, see.
In his song, he has a song, and it's called Remember This, and he basically gives, like, a bunch of advice, and it's like, surround yourself with people that challenge how you think, not people that nod their head and act like they agree, like, things like that. Actions speak louder than words do, and, like, just sort of things like that. And so in it he says, if money's where you find happiness, you'll always be poor. And so I think that's it's a little cliche, like, that statement, but that's exactly what it is. Like, money can't buy you happiness.
Well, and it's not just cliche though, Charlie. It's like, look, I think I once read something somewhere that was like, just because you can give your kids something doesn't mean you should.
Yeah, I mean,
just because you have the resources to do it. And so
you could have bought me a signed Taylor CD. You didn't. Calling you out there, Mom.
Yes, you're gonna never let that one.
I'm never letting that go.
I know. Okay,
but next time she puts out something, I'm just gonna wait for the signed CDs to drop.
So this is the thing: is Dad and I feel both really strongly about, and both of us were raised by similar parents who.
Oh yeah, I see that absolutely.
Have the same value as it comes to how we spend our money. And
I think Bop and U'u, especially. Yeah. Like, I think, because, like, U'u is, like, big in the finances, I think. Like,
well, he has a finance background, and
he does.
We were raised by people who didn't spend money they didn't have, and they planned carefully and thoughtfully. And then, so the thing that happens is, if you decide you want to fill your cup with things, you're never gonna. There's always something more. There's always a nicer car.
You'll never be happier with what you have.
Yeah, and so I think. They say gratitude is the single most important link to happiness, and that's because it's not what you have, but how much you appreciate what you have that's really important. And I hope that at the end of our parenting, although we'll always parent you, but I hope that that's something that you...
No, as soon as I'm 18, I'm getting out of here.
You're out the door.
Just kidding.
I hope you will be grateful and remember what's important, and really the things that are important in life. I know it's cliche, but nothing with a price tag is that important. The things that matter most are the people in your life and the experiences you have together, and those things that cannot be bought with money.
Yeah, okay. So we have some of the skills. I think we've got enough here, but you said organization, patience, and acceptance, right? That's what... those are...
Yeah.
Okay.
And priorities. I also think, like, the other thing about parenting, I think, is we parent in what I think is a manner that's called conscious parenting. Like, we put a lot of thought into decisions we make for you guys, and kind of the behavior we model for you, and so none of it. Yeah. While parenting is like the most amazing job, it does require some real conscious thought, and I would encourage any young parent today to spend the time kind of setting up, like, what's your family mantra going to be? What's your
do we have a family mantra?
What, honey?
We don't. Never mind. We'll get to that in another question, actually.
Okay. Oh,
we can jump to there in a second. But
okay.
So we have.
You're the boss of this, Charlotte. You just...
Acceptance, patience, organization, and priorities.
Yeah, that's okay.
I mean,
the list of things that I've learned and skills that you have to have for parenting could go on and on, but those are some good ones, don't you think?
Yeah. Parenting 101.
Yeah.
Okay, so question 2. Oh, yep, here it is, this question. What is a mantra you use as a guide in your daily life? So,
jeez.
I literally wrote that, too, before you even said that. But, so you can do, like, whichever one you use personally, because I know you have a couple, as we saw in the title of the episode.
Yeah.
But if you can also come up with, like, a family mantra for us, you can say that, too. It's kind of up to you. Huh. Very open-ended.
Yeah, Well, it's funny. I think about the fact that I don't know if I do it to you still, but I definitely do it to Margaret when she leaves her school every day. I say the same: be your best self, be kind and good.
You said that all the time.
Yeah, be your best self, be kind and good. So that's definitely one. As I always want you guys, and by best self, it's not like I want you to get straight A's or I want you to, beat records. It's you know what your best self is, right? You know when you're treating other people the way you need to treat them. So it's I guess that's kind of maybe a mantra. The gratitude definitely.
Start today with a grateful heart. You have that on the notepad. Yeah. That's like a big thing for you personally, I think. But I guess for our family as a whole, it's definitely probably the be your best. You always say that, be your best self.
Well, and I hope that you guys will be thoughtful human beings because, I guess I always want you guys to be thinking about how other people feel, right? And I think so far you've demonstrated a pretty good job at doing that. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, the three of us, definitely. Yeah. So that's good for that one. I lost the questions. My phone.
So I guess, and I see this is where you and I are going to have trouble keeping this short because we both love to talk.
I
think one of the things is kind of a family mantra for us is the priority is on the kind of people you are versus like we're not a family that's focused on achievement per se. But that
sometimes
we want you to do well and do your best and use your potential, but I think for the most part the focus is on
I mean, like if I fail my chem test, like I can do better, so like
when would I be upset if you failed your chem test?
If I didn't study at all.
If you didn't try.
But the last time I almost failed, I literally studied and I went to see her a couple times and it just didn't work.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I aced the one I took yesterday, but
yes. Yeah, well, we try not to get too caught up in that. And
sometimes it's like normal that sometimes there have been times I've sort of felt, and then like, I don't know, I feel guilty sometimes if I feel like I knew I could do better and then you knew I could do better. Like, that's when it starts to, the guilt kind of eats at me, and
I don't want you you shouldn't have guilt eating at you, Charlotte, unless you do something really wrong.
No, but like it's like temporary. Luckily, like I got over the chem test that I failed, but for like that night, like I was like, oh god.
Well, and the reality is, in life and as kids, you have to fail. There's no way around failure. Failure is an important experience, and that's how you learn to pick yourself up and be resilient and find a different way and dig in and work harder and all those things. I think failure is important, and today's parents often don't want to see their kids fail, but I think if they don't get to develop those skills and that resiliency.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty resilient for the most part, like aside from the failure part of my life.
Well, like I think that's something you can always be really proud of, honey, how resilient you are.
I'm just pretty brave.
Yeah, you are pretty, and you are amazing. Even like with such a little kid, like
it was almost easier for me as a little kid. I feel like.
Well, I think because
I kind of just like did it. Like I was like, oh, blood, that's awesome. Like
I remember once going to get your blood taken when you were like little, maybe you were like 2 or 3, and you were watching them, and I was about to pass out, and you're like watching the files, and I mean, it was crazy. And I remember when you were 2, you had to go into the hospital for 2 weeks. And I was
Calpana?
Yeah, I was pregnant with Caroline.
If you're watching this, Calpana. Yeah,
it's his favorite story. But we were literally like, what is it going to be like with a 2-year-old in the hospital for 2 weeks?
Like, Calpana!
You were like living your best life. You were like, we're chatting with all the nurses.
No, but like that's still sort of the way like even today, like if I go to Yale and like there's a nurse there, and it's all about being personable. I was talking to Gwen about this yesterday, in the sense that she will be a great nurse just because of how personable she is. And so I think if I find that in the hospital in this generation of nurses, and I will talk to them. Like, it may be about Taylor, it may be about swimming, it may be about everything. Like, literally, dude, if somebody, like, I always wear merch when I go to the hospital, for the most part, and everybody's like, oh, nice shirts, you like Taylor Swift? I'm like, you think? But
I wondered how long it would take till we really got into some Taylor Swift talk on this.
I really knew it was gonna happen, but I feel like being personable is a pretty big thing. But I mean, long story short, I'm pretty resilient, and I think that's like something that just comes with my life. Like,
well, yeah, and I'm
it's
proud.
Either be resilient or just fall. Like, I don't know. That's just sort of.
Well, I think it goes back to that, mindset that your attitude is everything, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, sometimes I slip. Like, my last appointment was not good. I just went into it and was not feeling it. And I mean,
all right. Well, we don't need to. This is.
I don't know. I don't even know. And now I'm just saying things.
A beat up on yourself session on how the way you handle that.
Yeah,
all right. What's next?
Okay. Question 3.
Okay.
You kind of already covered this, so you can just kind of make this brief. But who do you strive to be as a person and a mother?
Oh. Who do I strive to be? I strive to be honest. I've always been honest with you guys. I'll never, ever since you were little, I'll never lie to you. I'll never gloss over things. Like, I try to do it in an age appropriate way, but I feel like honesty is huge as far as having respect, mutual respect with your kids. Who do I want to be? I want to be positive for sure.
You are for the most part.
For the most part, I want you guys to always know, like, I'm going to be smiling, and no matter what it is, it's usually not so bad. Wait, what am I saying?
When we went into COVID, you were like, oh, COVID, no big deal.
Wait, what are you
doing? No, but you were kind of like, this will be fun, like, family
was.
Okay, but now like, it's been enough.
I know. The hard part is, like, now, so many months into this, we've done
everything we possibly can. Like, I feel like at this point, like, Thanksgiving was great, but without Bapanoo here, like, it was just kind of like a regular, like, we finished our dinner in like 20 minutes.
Maybe you felt that way. I didn't. I thought we had a lovely Thanksgiving.
We did. I'm not saying we didn't. I'm just saying it was like, we've done the family dinners in the dining room, and we've watched like every movie we possibly can.
So I get that.
And the baking and stuff like that. Like, it's just 6 months into it. But I think, like, when COVID first happened and nobody really knew what was happening, you were very, almost overly positive in a sense.
Well, that was important to me because I was setting the tone for, like, the dynamic in the house, right?
Yeah. I mean, I did okay with that. But,
Charlotte, listen to me. Like, you have a 9-year-old sister, and you may be 15, but she's 9, and so you think about how scary it was for her to be told, like, you can't go and see your friends, you can't, interact with other people, you have to stay home. So I felt like that, as a mom, and dad, dad's job too, is to, make sure that you guys feel safe. And so
Margaret did a great job. She's done a great job.
Yeah,
she's been so just kind of flexible, and she's been shortchanged.
I kind of think Margaret of everybody has, like, come into herself in this.
Oh, period. Absolutely. Yeah.
Maybe it's her age that she's like, she was always the little one, and
no, but I feel like almost now all of us can see who she's going to be when she's older.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this has brought out in Margaret. But
yeah, I love that.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, you ain't known who you were going to be since you were like
2. Oh God. Yeah. Ever since the box of peanuts.
Yes.
Cinderella with Nana was another big one.
Oh,
Question 4.
Oh my God, Charlie, do you know when you go to look at the questions, all I see is like your hairline? You're like,
oh, okay, I'll lift my phone.
Oh no, and you probably see my gray hair. Oh God.
No, I can't see it. Of course you have to bring that up. I couldn't even see it.
Okay.
Question 4. What traits of yours do you feel make you a strong, you kind of already did this, but what traits of yours do you feel make you a strong influence in people's lives? I can also add to this, but all you. Go ahead.
But I feel like we kind of talked about that.
We kind
I don't
of
know
did.
that I'm a strong influence in anybody's life but yours.
No, you definitely are. You are. Trust me, you are.
But I think we as a family have had a lot of challenges.
Comment below if my mom is a strong influence in your life, because I guarantee you're a stronger influence in other people's lives, not just ours.
Well, you're sweet to say that, Charlie B. But I think we've tried to, I don't know. I feel like we've tried to live our life with grace and to tackle some of the challenges we've faced that seem for a long time.
The challenges are mainly because of me. So sorry about that, but
that's not true. I mean, we had other challenges that like arose, like Margaret being 8 weeks premature, and we've had other setbacks as a family. Getting furloughed from work, that's been a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've got all kinds of stuff that we've had to deal with, and I hope that I can, by example, hopefully, at least for you guys, be a good role model.
You are.
Thanks, sweet. You're just being nice because I have to make you dinner tonight.
What?
Well, meaning like you're going to be nice to me because I'm the one that feeds you.
Oh, what are we having for dinner?
I think we're going to have enchiladas.
Oh.
Enchiladas.
And we're watching White Christmas.
And we're watching White Christmas, which is probably...
That's like one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yes. I love... It's a Wonderful Life is probably my favorite, and we always save that one for closer to Christmas, but I
love Home Alone, too.
I know. I
love that movie.
I watch it for you, but it's not...
Elf.
Not really my
Elf
favorite.
is great, too. Anyway... Comment below if my mom is an influence in your life, because I guarantee you influence more people than just me.
Okay, we better not do this, because if nobody comments, it's just going to make me feel bad.
People will comment. I'll have Caroline comment.
Okay, I know that Caroline will be there for her mom.
No, she will.
Okay, what's next?
Last question.
Okay.
What advice would you give to someone aspiring to be a good mother or parent, I guess?
Huh. Oh, jeez. I feel like, have I covered some of this?
A little bit, but like just to sum everything you've set up, like what advice would you give?
So there was this great, there's a woman named Brene Brown who...
Oh yeah, the late, I remember.
Yeah, she's got a lot of TED Talks, and she talks a lot about vulnerability and courage, and she has some great books and Daring Greatly, and she has a video, what do you call it? It's like a video book or a video
blog,
an audio program. It's like audio CDs. It's like
I thought she went on TV.
She did. She had a great Netflix special.
Oh, that was one I caught you watching one time.
Yes, yeah. I love that. But she did, there's one called The Gifts of Imperfect Parenting.
Oh yeah, I feel like you've mentioned this.
Yeah, and in fact I lent it to somebody. I'm just realizing they never gave it back to me, so I'm gonna have to follow up with getting it back. But he has some great advice about making time for play with your family, and by play that means like it could mean anything. It could be like watching a movie together. It could be playing cards. It could be doing a puzzle.
Yeah.
Anything that's like a break from normal life, kind of like the work side of life. So I think that's important. I think what else is important when you're raising kids? About letting them be vulnerable. Be in situations where, again, this goes back to like the whole control thing, but like, if somebody's having a tough time at school, maybe like some kids are not being nice to you or to your child, like not trying to jump in and save and rescue.
Thank you for not doing that, because
Yeah.
I figured that out for myself eventually.
I know, but I mean, I try to stay out of, like, I try to let you guys drive the bus as far as.
No, yeah. I mean, I think if you jumped in with everything that, like, has happened, I think that would have just made it worse.
Yeah. I think also that as parents, a really important thing with kids is like creating rituals, and
Yeah.
and kids remember, like, just recently I was thinking about this because we were decorating the tree and Caroline pulled out an ornament that we had gotten when we went to Disney in 2015, and so she 2015, it was 5 years ago, she was like second grade, and she said, I don't even really remember it. And
I remember that, yeah.
And it was like this big trip that we it was like expensive, and
that was awesome.
Well, let's stay on track, but the whole point of it was like, she didn't remember that trip, but she remembers like the blueberry farm where we go picking blueberries every summer with Bop and Ooh. She remembers the ice cream parlor where we go on the Cape when we're with Nana and Vic. She remembers going to feed the birds and the horses at Christmas every morning. Like, those things, I think, stay with kids a lot longer than the big flashy things. And as parents, I think sometimes parents feel the need to try to impress their kids with things or experiences. And I think really the things that are lifelong for kids are the small little rituals that you ingrain, that you create with as a family. And even things like today, right? It's a rainy day and we sat for lunch, and I felt like that act of the five of us sitting down for lunch, and like everybody was laughing, and
we were.
Yeah, I felt like I can't remember.
I was there and I don't remember that.
Yeah, well, see, that's how
that was literally today, and I don't remember.
That's how normal that is for us. That like that's just part of our ritual, like coming together to sit down to enjoy our meals together, and things that we do with consistency. And that's what kids remember. Like that's
what I remember.
Yeah. Or Caroline was saying Margaret was saying to me, like, are we not going to make all our Christmas cookies this year? Like she relies on the fact that every year we make the same Christmas cookies. And so I think as parents, like, that's an important thing to remember, is the importance of not necessarily the big things, but the small ritualistic things where you're close to your kids, and that feeling, they'll remember that, and that sticks with people a lot longer.
I think like that was the big thing for me when, like, you said that Nana was shipping us plastic and everything. It's such a small thing, but like for me, if we can't go there this Christmas and we haven't seen our grandparents since the summer, it's like having a little piece, we haven't seen them. Not Christmas, yes, the Christmas. Whoops, not summer. Whoops.
And Anna would be like, hello.
Yeah, no, Christmas, last Christmas. But like I think something that I always regret is, like, if I'd known this was coming, I would have taken it in more.
Well, I think that's an important lesson that COVID has taught us all, to be present and to be present. And that's an important job as a mom, is to just be present with your kids. Because I remember Nana telling me when you guys were I think when you were born, enjoy them. It's crazy when they're little and it's physically demanding and so tiring and taxing, but it goes so fast. And if you're not there and present for it, and sitting at the bathtub enjoying bath time with your baby and that kind of stuff, like, you miss it. And
give a nug a bone.
Yeah, give a nug a bone. And then all of a sudden those things are over, and here you are doing a podcast with your 15-year-old, like sipping a cup of tea. It's like it goes really quickly, and that's kind of how life works. So I think as parents, you really want to be present and in the moment and able to enjoy your children for where they are at that time and who they are, and rather than worrying about the future or thinking too far forward.
Yeah.
So and I guess the only one other thing that I'm thinking I didn't touch on in all of this is that quote that we have in the kitchen. That's my favorite parenting guide, which is, I can't like say it verbatim, but it's something along the lines of
verbatim?
Like, well, meaning like word for word.
Oh.
I can't do a word for word, but what it
verbatim, limited vocab word. What
it basically says is that, like, don't expect don't ask your children to strive for like extraordinary lives. That striving is foolish. Like, instead, show them like the joy of holding someone's hand and how to cry when pets and people die. And there are a few other like very basic things. And it says if you focus on the ordinary, the extraordinary will take care of itself.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah.
And I feel like
by William something.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, I forget who it was.
You know, Mrs. Ferry, your school principal, sent that out.
Mrs. Ferry, aw.
Year when you were,
and you took it and you made it and you had Caroline type it up.
And I took it up and I have it in the kitchen, and it's like my daily guide of like, remember all these little things, really ordinary. If you focus on the ordinary with your kids, the extraordinary takes care of itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't have to worry about like what you're going to be someday or what you're going to do with your life or where you're going to go to college.
I don't even know, so don't even ask me that.
I don't need to worry about it because like we'll just do the ordinary and the extraordinary will take care of itself, right?
Yeah, okay.
We make our own little bit of extraordinary here in our tiny little cape.
I still kind of want my own room sometimes.
I know. I'm sorry you have to share a bedroom. Although I do think it teaches you some good lessons about being a good roommate.
To my future college roommate, I'm an okay bedroom sharer. Yeah, but I mean, so I'd say, long story short, for that question, you'd say sort of let the extraordinary take care of itself and be present. Would that be like the two big things for that question?
Yeah, I guess so. However you want to read it, Charlie.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get everything into my brain.
Okay.
But that's all the questions I had for you. Okay. So I hope this was fun for you. I think you're very insightful and will probably strike a chord with a bunch of moms who watch this. But
Charlie, this was fun. Like, I feel like it was just chatting, even though we're just
we're
just chit-chatting.
I think like I told you, it's got to be like a regular conversation. What?
You want to do it again tomorrow?
I think we're probably good, but
joke, hon.
Thank you. I know it was a joke. Thank you for doing this. I appreciate my guinea pig here. I hope we don't lose this. Like, I hope the recording works. But
what if we have to do this all over again?
Oh God, that would not be good. But I tested the tech a couple times, so I think it should work. I'll figure it out if it doesn't work.
Our tech manager can take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know a decent amount. I hope I can figure it out, but...
Well, don't count on me.
I won't. Thank you once again for doing this. This was fun.
Thank you.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, that is my mom, and start today with a grateful heart. And I'll see you next time in episode 2. Thank you guys for listening and watching.
Bye.
Bye.